Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Your host Strawberry here, and I have a huge announcement at the end of the video, or in the middle of the video, whenever I feel like dropping the news. And as you can see, I'm experimenting a little bit with the content, and now I have actual gameplay in the video. This is something I've been, meaning to try, and with my first stream that I horribly did not announce to my YouTube channel, unfortunately. Sort of a test stream where I got just me and my friends playing Overwatch. I sort of just have recording software to screen cap, and now I'll be able to provide, something to move in the background, since obviously people now don't have attention spans, I guess. But that's not what I'm here to talk about today. I am here to talk about Guilty Gear Strive and other fighting games that I love. Now, you may have heard me talk about fighting games in a prior video, most notably the Persona video, where I mentioned that it was the way I got into Persona, the franchise that I would arguably say got me back into playing video games, with the game that arguably got me back into playing video games, Persona 4 on the PS2 on my phone. And I think I did actually mention that I play Tekken. I've been a Tekken fan for a while, as a child. We had Tekken 6 on my Xbox 360, and I didn't know what was happening. I played Raven. All I know is he had a stupid teleport, and I played a lot of arcade mode by myself. But beyond that, I don't think I really have mentioned fighting games. So that's what I'm going to do today. Mention fighting games for however long this video ends up being, and, just sort of spill my guts like I usually do on, mic. Now, where to begin with the fighting game stuff? I've always had a bit of an interest in them, but it's only now in high school that, that interest has been fully realized, so to speak. I've, started playing fighting games. I have a PC that can play things, so now I have fighting games to play online, and, I've been honing my skills alongside with Overwatch, and who knows, soon I might get Street Fighter 6 and, finally catch up and play that stuff, because I played it a bit at my friend's house, and let me just say, I am a beast with Jury and Jamie. Now, I think the best place to start would be with my friends who play fighting games. Most notably, this guy I mentioned before, David. Now, David, he is a very interesting piece because he is really good at fighting games. Like, he is the best player I've met, definitely. I haven't been exposed to too many, really good players, or really any players. It's just been people I've met at school, and I'm honestly surprised by how many people I've met that enjoy fighting games. Like, one of my friends, Rollerad, I didn't even know he played Strive. Like, I'd been talking to this guy casually for a while, for a year, and near the end of the year is barely when I found out, oh, he also likes Guilty Gear Strive. And he even played Xrd, which was awesome to think about, because I had been meaning to play Xrd, which now I do have Xrd, which I got for a birthday gift on Steam. Thank you to the twins for providing that. And honestly, it's just been really interesting finding people that play fighting games, But back to David, because at first I thought I was pretty good at fighting games, because I had introduced more of them, other than Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. I had, sharpened my skills with whatever time at lunch we had, and I thought I was pretty good, But then came David, who was always there, but it was playing a lot with David that made me realize, oh wow, this guy's pretty good. And as I started to get to know David more, I learned he, has always been interested in fighting games, which I found to be really cool, because he is actually a Marvel v Capcom nut, and I have actually been pretty interested in playing Marvel v Capcom 3, and probably 2, Gambit, the card-throwing mutant, is in there, and that's a little inside joke with me and my friends, but I feel like David was the person to make me want to get good at fighting games beyond just, winning, because David was, able to make me lose, which was, something I really wasn't, I wasn't sure, like, wow, he's good. And in every other fighting game, he would win a lot, He'd have all this practice and whatnot, so he'd have all this time and, all these resources to practice, because he had a PS5 and whatnot, while I was stuck with my laptop with Windows 11 that wasn't supposed to have Windows 11 installed, He had the resources and time to get better, while the fighting games I played were on my Switch with really drifty Joy-Cons, like really bad drift. Like, I got new Joy-Cons recently, like a couple months ago. They're still working fine. I can input perfectly on those. Like, but those old Joy-Cons I had were the difference between winning or losing, like, a round of Street Fighter 3 Third Strike at the lunch table. Because, hoo boy, I cannot input a Dragon Punch input into that thing. Because, oh man, I couldn't make it work. But that's besides the point. I feel that as I got better and David got better, all of our other friends got dragged into this rabbit hole of the fighting game craze that we sort of started, and we gave everyone sort of this rudimentary, basic introduction to fighting games, most notably Cullen and Logan, who, not only were the guys that introduced me to the Persona franchise, most notably Logan, who really likes Persona, but he also got really good at fighting games, and they both, started enjoying fighting games. Granted, I may have overestimated how much they started enjoying fighting games, because around the time that, around this time, like, around my birthday this year, I started getting more fighting games now that I have a PC, and yeah, I tried showing them King of Fighters, which I actually pretty like, it's sort of like Street Fighter with its mechanics, and it's pretty simplistic, honestly, especially 15, but besides that, I may have overstayed my welcome with that one, because oh boy, they did not like King of Fighters. But that's fine. Speaking of people who don't like King of Fighters, I feel like time to mention my friend Luke, who is a beast with Akuma, who really likes playing Strive specifically. He plays Chip, and his combo game is on a whole other level. Like, the characters I play in Strive are typically Anji, which I can, you can see I'm learning Anji. Like, when I recorded this footage, I was actually kind of learning how to play Anji, and I've gotten the hang of it, kind of, but, there's always more room for improvement. And Ramlethal, who is my, like, straight-up main, because she's pretty simplistic. Like, I tried playing her in Xrd because I played Strive first. Oh boy. Like, Ramlethal and Xrd is on a whole other level. I just play Jam and do Kung Fu stuff, and then it ends up working. That, or I play Bedman, and my friends just keep getting caught in a loop of me replaying Beyblade, as we call it. It's pretty goofy, but back to Luke. I feel Luke is a really fast learner. I did sort of, not really, but he technically did make a cameo in the last video in the Overwatch section. He did technically make a cameo, but I feel he's just like a really good fast learner. Like, I don't know, there's something about how he sort of plays fighting games and most other games that you can just pick up something really easily. Like, off the whole Strive thing, I introduced him to Overwatch. He was one of the skeptics who kept talking about the other content of, the Overwatch sort of, franchise. And to their credit, they're not wrong. Those skeptics were not wrong. But he, picked up the game and started enjoying it. He plays Genji and Reaper, and Soldier, and you know, he's pretty solid. He's a really good DPS player, and I think he was working towards playing support now that he has Baptiste unlocked. And honestly, I feel like this reflects just what kind of a quick learner he is, because he has this innate ability to just learn things. He like when it comes to things like combos and stuff, he can just like keep going, keep at it for a while, and then just eventually learn it. Like he does a lot of the combo trials, like you know, the online combo trials for Strive, where you know the combo trials where people would make their own combos and you attempt them or whatever. He'd do a lot of those, and he'd learn a lot of good stuff from there. Well, meanwhile, I genuinely cannot learn from combo trials. Maybe it was because all the people I play in other fighting games, like, okay, in KOF I play Angel, which I tried the first combo trial. I'm not typically a combo kind of guy. I don't go for long strings or anything. Like, if this gameplay isn't evident of that, I play a lot of sort of heavy-hitting people with, you know, besides Anji, who, like, actually can just string anything from anything with his mix-ups. Like, yeah. Usually I play people who are more on the heavy-hitting side or more of the poking side, perhaps, you know, if you would like to call it that. Ramlethal is definitely in that category. But I would definitely have to say that there are some exceptions to that rule, and one of those exceptions, well, one of like the two exceptions that come to mind is Hel, which I learned because she just seemed fun. I played a little bit of her in, what is it, KOF 2002, and I thought she was interesting, so when I got KOF 15, I was like, hey, she seems kind of interesting here, and she is pretty interesting there. She's really complicated. I don't have her mechanics down to a T yet. Her mix-up is very different from, you know, Anji's mix-up in Strive, but there's sort of fundamentally something the same there, you know, where things string into each other with starters and stuff. The thing is, with Fujin, it's one starter, 3 options, not like 5 starters, 12 options, 13 finishers, you know, like, there's definitely a more complication there. But I do enjoy playing Angel. One of the other ones is my Tekken 7 main, Lei Wulong. I haven't always mained Lei. I played Raven a lot, but that's when I didn't know how to play Tekken. Now that I do know how to play Tekken, I thought to myself, who do I want to play? And I probably haven't made this very clear, but I enjoy a lot of old 90s Hong Kong cinema. Not necessarily, like, not specifically action, but that's a big bulk of what I enjoy. So obviously I had to go for the Jackie Chan character, and it turns out I really like the Jackie Chan character, even if I don't have all of his, like, I don't have the flowchart, that infamous flowchart memorized, or, you know, I don't have a good understanding of the animal stances, you know, to a fluent degree, if you'd like to say it that way. But I can still mix up my friends pretty hard whenever I do convince them to play Tekken. But to be fair, they do get mixed up by Eddie low when I just spam 3-4. But don't tell them I said that. I'm telling them I said that. So obviously this just seemed to be another big rant, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, you know. It is what it is. It's kind of fun for me to rant, honestly. Like, if it wasn't evident by my horrible upload schedule, I do this more as a hobby, obviously. I have no aspiration to make it as some huge YouTuber who will, like, you know, make a ton of money and then go fall off without a burnout or lack of relevancy. No, I just want to, you know, do this and enjoy it. And a part of that is the announcement that I've been meaning to make, which is I'm streaming on Twitch. And I find it pretty interesting that I actually got it to work, first off. I'm pretty incompetent, so it should not have worked. But I did get it to work. My first stream wasn't bad, honestly. It spent like the first 30 minutes trying to fix it, but legitimately it was pretty good. And obviously, with that being said, I'm going to plug my Twitch. Obviously, go into the description, or you can, I don't know, type out what's on screen right now if you're some kind of psychopath. But I find Twitch to be, you know, live streaming to be this sort of interesting thing because it's one of the ways I can share what I love with all my friends, you know? Like my first stream being an Overwatch stream with some of my friends joining in, not having played Overwatch before, and I don't even really care if, you know, they get interested or if I get torn to shreds because I'm playing Overwatch, but hey, I'm enjoying it. I'm not entirely sure what my stream schedule is going to look like. As I said, you know, doing this as a hobby, this whole content creation thing as a hobby, sort of for, you know, my enjoyment. It's just whenever I feel like it. But I'll probably have at least one stream for the end of the school, like end of summer and the start of the school year. Obviously, probably more, like one. I definitely will have an Overwatch stream, probably. Either my 3 games at the moment are me streaming Overwatch with, you know, some of my homies. I can play some Strive, either with one of my friends that I know plays Strive. You know, one of my few friends that plays Strive. Or I could play Monster Hunter, because, I don't remember if I mentioned this. I did mention this in the last video about how I own 2 copies of Monster Hunter Rise, and I just started a save file for Monster Hunter Rise on my PC because I was tired of playing it on my Switch with the Joy-Cons. Playing it with something that's not a Joy-Con is honestly amazing, let me tell you. And as you can probably guess, the end of this video won't have a ranking change or anything for the waifus and stuff, because I am making this like a couple days after my stream and when I uploaded my last video. Like I said, I'm just doing this whenever I feel like it. So if you are invested for some unknown reason, apologies for the several months it'll take to get to the next video maybe, or the constant stream of content 1 week or so where I have so much free time and so much to talk about that I just want to, you know, rant about. It's like sort of like a conversation for me, just one-way conversation. That's just like talking to no one, but less deranged.